Many organizations have different ways of selecting who the leaders within them will be. A common way is to look at past roles. Most companies parse their resumes and interviews to find the best candidate for a leadership role. Others look to promote from within, choosing people from inside the company itself, taking up a mantle of greater responsibility. The United States Army does a combination of the two to find its non-commissioned officers, which is also known as NCOs. The process of this is called the board. A group of senior NCOs will look over the file of a lower-ranked NCO or enlisted soldier and give them an interview to determine if they are fit for leadership. This process seems standard fare in many ways, but by the way boards are run, may not be the best fit to determine the future leaders the Army needs. Boards themselves are basically a form of stress group interviews. Staff Sergeant McDaniels, senior medic for Delta Company, 3rd Battalion, 67 Armor Regiment, says, we basically ask the soldier a wide variety of questions to see how they handle themselves in a stressful situation. A group of roughly 5 senior NCOs will give a soldier what amounts to a verbal test. This is on basic Army tasks and proficiencies, questions like how to react to fire, how to treat a casualty, or how to treat a casualty under fire, or about Army programs and regulations. These are standard fare in every board, but they miss the mark on one several important feature. The Army has a huge amount of different jobs within one battalion, and the senior NCOs questioning the soldiers often are not subject matter experts in the soldier's field and do not ask job-specific questions. Medics are not questioned about the interactions of casualty care beyond the basics an infantryman would be asked. And tankers are not drilled for knowledge on the platforms they spend months living and fighting on. A medical soldier will find it easy to answer the medical questions asked of them, but it will not be questioned beyond that. Sergeant Smith, who is a section sergeant for the mechanics in the 3rd Battalion, 67th Armor Regiment, says the board only scrapes the surface of the knowledge a soldier has in their field of study. So a soldier does not have to be knowledgeable in their field of study and does not have to be proficient in order to pass that part of their board. This lack of questioning the core skills of the job a soldier actually does could and does lead to promoting unqualified candidates who have a field of knowledge a mile long on general Army topics, but only 2 inches deep. A soldier should have far more knowledge about their actual job than obscure questions like whose head is on the Medal of Honor. These do not show a soldier who knows about what they are actually doing day in and day out, or that they can perform their job to a standard expected and needed in combat. Boards are structured in such a way, however, that these are only possible questions that can be asked. An infantry first sergeant does not know about patient care the same way a medical first sergeant does. If boards were given by senior NCOs within the soldier's own military occupational specialty, these types of questions could be answered. These, however, are not the only problem with the board. Boards only show a soldier in a mental state for most 15 minutes. They do not show how they lead those under them, how they treat their peers and possibly subordinates. When asked about the board, Corporal Zornizer, also senior medic in 367 Armor, said they only show how well a soldier can manage to memorize information for what basically amounts to a verbal short test. If the soldier's direct leadership was more involved in the section process, candidates who work well in their platoon, who are excellent soldiers in their section, can be more recognized, rather the soldiers who sit down for a few hours to memorize disjointed facts off the back of flashcards. The only information the board members are given about the soldiers in question is a small packet and simple information: physical, training score, marksmanship record, and according to Stars and Stripes 2018, 40% of promotion points to sergeant are associated with physical fitness and weapons qualifications. They also get a small speech from a leader within their platoon about what they have done and who they are. Staff Sergeant McDaniel says this is not enough information to judge a soldier beyond their physical ability and how good they are shooting. A leader needs more to be successful, rather than being a good shot or running fast. The way boards are done are sloppy and built to save time and ask only the most general questions a soldier should know. Some may say this is a necessary evil as the Army does not have enough leaders for the support soldiers to support soldiers present in their elements, or that the MOS specific knowledge is expected of someone looking to become an MCO, that testing on it is pointless. These are good points, but the better qualified leaders that could be gained by a specific process outweigh the convenience that current boards have. I asked Sergeant First Class Hendricks, Platoon Sergeant in Charlie Company 367 Armor, what qualities should be found in an NCO, and he said an NCO should have general Army knowledge, of course, but they need to be able to care for their soldiers and lead a team effectively and be proficient at their job. Soldiers should be able to ask their NCO general questions they have about the Army and get good, accurate information from them, but for the most part, these questions they are asked can be Googled. Their NCO should be able to provide them with purpose, direction, and motivation for any task they may have to do. But boards test on NCO's ability to be like Google, not their ability to be good leaders, subject matter experts in their jobs. Those are the reason why boards in the Army are not a good way of selecting future leaders. They test knowledge 10 miles and 2 inches deep. They do not focus on job-specific tasks. The board itself is a verbal short answer session, not a test of leadership for personality. In their current form, they are currently the most convenient way for the Army to find new NCOs, but far from the best. Army Times 2017 interviewed the RAND team, and they said Army doctrine interviews with personnel identify multiple competencies and attributes associated with effective leadership, none of which is captured in the promotion board. So across the Army, most people can agree that boards do not properly evaluate future leaders.